Sutekh Dynasty, Tomb Blades and Command Barge. Time to have a look at the Necron previews.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, today we're going to have a look at the Necron previews released by Games Workshop, and the first one we're going to look at is the Sutekh Dynasty. Before that though, if you would like to keep up to date with the wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please give me a sub and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so this week I'm going to make videos about the Necron preview releases from Games Workshop. Games Workshop have deemed the units they're going to preview as the most improved units in the Codex, so it's going to be very interesting taking a look at these. Now, I always find it very interesting when Games Workshop release new rules for new units. It's almost like telling a story of which units aren't selling particularly well, because after all, Games Workshop, of course, want to sell models. So without further ado, let's have a look at the first dynasty, the Sutekh Dynasty with Tomb Blades and Command Barge. Okay, so the Sutekh Dynasty. Now, I've covered the rules for the dynasty in a separate video. I'll link that video up for you in the description below. But just to recap, the Sutekh Dynasty lets us advance and shoot our guns as if they were Assault 1 weapons. That means if you have a rapid fire weapon, you can either just move normally and do rapid fire, or you can also advance and then shoot it as an assault weapon. That's pretty good. That helps us move as Necrons. Not only that, if you have a heavy weapon, you can move and still shoot it at normal ballistic skill. Okay, so Tomb Blades, quite a versatile unit with all their different weapon options. However, for the points cost that they were in the index, I don't think many people were using them. There seem to be much better options. However, Games Workshop are saying that this is now one of the most improved units. So let's take a look at the Tomb Blades and see what the changes are. Okay, so let's have a quick read. Equipped with a variety of assault or rapid fire weapons, Tomb Blades are particularly good candidates for relentless advance, adding D6 inches to their already impressive movement of 14 inches. Okay, so no change there, 14 inches, the same movement. Where Tomb Blades really shine is their new Invasion Engrams rule. Okay, so we've got a special rule, so what does that do? Your opponents must subtract 1 from hit rolls that target this unit in the shooting phase. So that's really useful. That is going to help the Tomb Blades survive a little bit longer. They're going to be harder to hit. Okay, so reading on. With toughness 5, 2 wounds and a respectable 4+ save, same stat line as it was before, Tomb Blades are already pretty durable, and this makes them even harder to put down. Indeed it does. And for the best bit, they've gone down in points too. Excellent, that's what we needed. We needed cheaper Tomb Blades. Of course, to fully capitalise on Tomb Blades, you'll want to keep a character who can keep up with them. We think we have the perfect candidate. So that's it for Tomb Blades. There's no mention of some of the other war gear that we had in the index, like Shadow Looms and Shield Vanes. I'm assuming they're still going to be there, and if so, this really does make us quite durable. Now, they've stuck these Tomb Blades in the Sutekh Dynasty, obviously looking towards their rapid fire guns. That's going to let them move 14 inches to get into range of rapid fire, have the option to advance and then shoot it as an assault weapon. -1 ballistic skill, just 1 shot, but the chances are there. Now, Gore's weapons are pretty good on Tomb Blades, obviously with the -2 to their AP. They're quite nasty, but with their tester guns, they also have the option to work quite well in the Mefret Dynasty. So I think Tomb Blades are going to be a thing going forward for Necrons. Okay, so they mentioned the Command Barge, so let's have a look at that next. Okay, so the first paragraph is about our HQs and how they're more customisable now with stratagems, artifacts and warlord traits, and they've revealed what the Sutekh warlord trait is going to be. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so the Sutekh warlord trait is once per battle you can re-roll a single hit roll, wound roll or damage roll made by your warlord. In addition, if your army is battle forged and your warlord is on the battlefield, roll a d6 each time you spend a command point. When you use a stratagem, on a 5+, the command point is immediately refunded. That's good. So yeah, once use only, we can re-roll a dice, basically our free command point for a re-roll to inflict extra damage on your enemy, maybe in close combat. But I think more importantly is the command point one. So on a 5 or 6, that's 33% chance that you're going to get back a command point every time you spend a command point. That's pretty decent, so I'm actually liking that Warlord trait. That's very useful if you are taking the Sutekh Dynasty. Okay, so next, GW tried to advise you on which HQ to take next. So let's have a look at that. But which Warlord to pick? Our eyes are on the Necron Command Barge. It's durable, it's incredibly well armed, and you'll be able to lay down a considerable hail of fire on the move with your Gauze cannon and Staff of Light thanks to the Sutekh Dynasty code. Your opponent will, naturally, want to take down your Warlord as quickly as possible, but even death is not the end of the Necron characters. For a mere command point, you'll have a chance to escape death and heal up with the resurrection protocols.
Necrons!
Okay, so now we've got stratagems. So for 1 command point, use your stratagem when the Necron character from your army, excluding Trazyn the Infinite and Catan Shards, is slain. At the end of the phase, roll a d6. On a 4+, set the character up again as close as possible to his previous position and more than 1 inch from any enemy models, with 1 wound remaining. This stratagem cannot be used to resurrect the same model more than once per battle. Okay, so fair enough. Limited obviously on which HQs we can take, but most of them can take it. And a 4+, that's a 50% chance of coming back up with 1 wound for 1 point. That's a pretty good odd, 50-50, especially if you consider that when you use that command point, you've got a 33% chance of getting your command point back if you're using the Sutekh Dynasty. So it does seem like the Sutekh Dynasty is going to be a great dynasty to have, especially that Warlord trait. I'm liking that, and I think we've got some great stratagems coming our way. However, we're going to find out more tomorrow when we look at the Mefrit Dynasty, so make sure you tune in for that one too. Beam me up!